Om Namo Narayana, Jai Swami Narayan. Welcome back as we work our way through Swami Vivekananda's lecture, The History of the Aryan Race. The Egyptians and the Babylons, they are separate races and their civilizations antedate all the European civilizations. But with the exception of the ancient Egyptians, they were almost coeval with the Aryans. In some accounts, they were actually earlier. The Jews were of a much later date than the Greek Aryans, only one branch of the Semitic race of Babylon, and this nondescript, unknowable race, the Egyptians, were much older than the Aryans, except the Hindus. Through thousands of years, it necessarily follows that in other Aryan languages, as in Greek and Roman, the literature must be of a much later date than Sanskrit. Not only so, but there is this peculiarity that of all regular books that we have in this world, the oldest are in Sanskrit. And that is Egyptian literature, but they cannot really be called literature or books. Just a few notes, a letter, a few words here and there, and so on. But as a finished, cultured literature, the Vedas are the oldest. Those Vedas were written in the peculiar archaic Sanskrit, and for a long time, and even today, it is thought by many European antiquarians that these Vedas were not actually written, but were handed down by father to son, learned by rote from teacher to student, and thus preserved verbally and mentally. Within the last few years, opinion is veering round, and they are beginning to think that they must have been written in most ancient times. Of course, they have to make theories this way. Theory after theory will have to be built up and destroyed until we know the truth. That is quite natural. But when the subject is Indian or Egyptian, the Christian philosophers rush in to make theories. They do not even hesitate. While if the subject is nearer to home, then they think twice first. It's very interesting how that happens. That is why they fail so much and have to keep on making fresh theories every few years. But this much is true, that this mass of literature, whether written or not, was conveyed, and not only that, but is, at the present day, conveyed by word of mouth. That is thought to be holy. You find in every nation when a new idea, a new form, a new discovery or invention comes in, the old things are not brushed aside all at once, but are relegated to the religion of holiness. So you find when new customs come in, the old ones become holy. So this form of transmitting the literature of the Vedas from teacher to disciple by word of mouth, although antiquated and almost useless now, has become holy. The student may refresh his memory by books, but he has to learn by word of mouth from a teacher. These Vedas are a vast mass of literature by themselves. That is to say, in the ancient times, in every country, religion was the first ideal to spring out of the heart of man, and all the secular knowledge that men got was made over to religion. Secondly, people being the first thinkers of every nation, not only thinking about religious subjects, but secular matters also, and as such all knowledge was confined to them. These masses of knowledge, both secular and religious, will always be gathered together and made into a vast mass of literature. Now, in much later times, this is also the case. For instance, in studying the Bible of the Jews, we find the same thing. The Talmud contained a vast mass of information on all subjects, and so did the Pentateuch. In the same way, the Vedas gave information on various subjects. They had formed one book. And in later times, when other subjects were separated from religion, such as astronomy and astrology, being taken out of religious context, these subjects became connected with the Vedas